Okay, so hello everyone. Chaoszine is today here at our own studio in Kallio, Helsinki, and we have Jari from Wintersun as guest.
Hello everyone.
So
thank you for having me.
Today we're gonna talk a little bit about singing and screaming.
Sure, my favorite topic.
What's like your first memories when it comes to like heavier rock / metal? When did you heard about that like for the first time?
Yeah, I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I got this C cassette from my mother. Well, it was my mother's work friend actually who gave it to my mother to give it to me as my like birthday present, and it had like copied like Kiss Asylum on one side and Kiss Animalize on the other side. Well, Kiss isn't actually crawling, but that was my first like thing for when I heard like rock and heavy music, and I was like blown away that this music is great. Like already felt like this is what I do. But like the first growling, what I heard was like maybe when I was 7 or 8. It must have been like Sepultura or something, and I was like scared, like what the hell is this? Like straight from hell.
But what in like rock and metal sort of caught your attention and made you fall in love with it?
I don't know, it was the energy and the catchy melodies, especially the Kiss stuff is like really simple and catchy, and I still love and listen to that music. Especially, you know, when I'm at parties, like that's the perfect party music.
So was Kiss the band that also made you become a musician, and was guitar the first instrument that you picked?
Yeah, my father actually was kind of an amateur musician. He played some gigs, and you know, I don't think he write any songs, but he did a lot of cover songs and loved music. So I was always like kind of influenced by him. I bought Wasp Last Command C cassette after that when I got that birthday present. So I always was like, I don't know, it's just the music got me. But then I had like this like a period in my early teenage years where I listened to more rap music and like pop music, like Michael Jackson and MC Hammer and stuff like that. But then I heard Metallica, and that was the end and the beginning.
Was James Hetfield an influence for you to become a singer, or how did you pick up the microphone?
Yeah, he was a big influence for become a singer and a guitar player. But first, I really considered myself as a guitar player. But I had my father's 4-track tape machine, and I started writing my own music. So there was no one to sing, so that kind of I started to experiment singing myself. I was really bad at the beginning, but you know, just practice and you get better.
But were you first like singing clean songs, and are there like some specific covers that you remembered like singing first?
There was a little bit of clean singing, but mostly I started with the growling.
Okay. So you
that kind
straight jumped to the like deepest side of the pool.
Yeah, well, clean singing was more difficult.
Okay.
But well, of course, the growling wasn't easy either in the beginning. But I kind of forced my voice to be able to growl. I was, you know, shouting my head off, you know, along with Pantera and Sentenced from North From Here album and Carcass and music like that. So
are those singers also the ones that influenced you the most to become a screamer and growler?
Yeah, definitely. Arto from Sentenced and Jeff Walker, Carcass, big influences for my voice.
So were you first sort of trying to mimic them and figure out then your own way to do things, or how did you shape the voice that you have today?
A little bit, yeah. It's always, I think for everyone, it's at the beginning a little bit mimicking, but then you start to find your own voice. And it's better that way to try to find your own voice, because you cannot sound, you know, you are physically different than everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's better that earlier you find your own voice, the better.
So were you like losing your voice all the time in the early days, and did it take like long time to
Actually,
figure
no.
out the right technique for it?
Actually, no. I've only had like trouble with my voice couple of times in my life.
Okay.
So I've been like blessed in that sense.
And you haven't had to adjust the voice after starting to play like live shows. It was like straight away the right technique for it.
I don't know if I've ever had the right technique.
Well, yeah. But in a way that it's like good for you.
Yeah.
And not harming your vocal cords and losing voice after shows. And I guess that's the main thing there.
Of course, there's always you lose the voice a little bit, after shows, and especially tours. Well, on tours you lose the voice at the beginning, but then it kind of gets used to it and gets into a really good place. But at the end of the tour, it can be then again a little bit down.
So when you are doing like vocal recordings at home, do you prepare yourself somehow for those?
Not in the past, but I started just singing right away. Well, even in the past little bit, I did some warm-ups, like singing some easier songs.
Okay.
And for me, it helps actually to sing clean first. Then I get a better growling voice.
Okay.
But nowadays, I do like vocal warm-ups, like the lip rolls and tongue trills and stuff like that. Like maybe half an hour to an hour.
So when it comes to like the first proper bigger tours that you did, were you ready as a vocalist to do like show after show after show? And did you learn something from those tours?
Well, I was never really ready.
Okay.
For me, my physical health, the first tours was mainly the biggest problem because I was always like a skinny dude. And also because I had the lung surgery. So that was always the problem in the first tours. But after, like when I started to hit 30 years old, I started going to the gym and started jogging more. So that really improved like my singing or the physical stamina. But throat-wise, never really big problems.
Okay,
so
it's
kind of surprised.
Okay. So
there was one time during the time albums recordings when I lost my voice a little bit and I
was a little bit scared, and I went to the voice doctor because I was recording like 5-6 hours straight, like screaming my head off.
So I started to feel like this lump in my throat and I couldn't sing.
Okay, but that went away.
That went away. I took a little break and then I started, to do the warm-ups, and I bought the Zen of Screaming.
Ah, okay, Melissa Cross.
Yes.
Yeah, she's one of the best, I think, in this.
Yeah.
So
that really helped.
In terms of like preparing for shows, has that changed for you? Was it like in the beginning that you just went up there and scream your lungs out, and do you now prepare somehow?
Well, in the beginning, I just did few shouts and like screams and to get ready. But nowadays, I do the warm up with the lip rolls and
how
kinds
long
of
time do you
vocal
normally
exercises.
need for that?
Probably an hour is good.
Okay, so you start like
Sometimes
an hour
less.
before the show.
I usually do it like maybe 2 hours before the show. The best is to have like a dinner 3 hours before the show. Then after dinner, 1 hour, so start doing the exercises. And then you have still like an hour just like to relax and get ready.
Okay, and that's something that works for you. Do you do that every night on a long tour, or does it is it like enough that you do it on the first night and then it's like fine?
Nowadays I do it every show.
Okay, so that's like your routine that you follow.
Yeah.
Are there like some foods or drinks that you try to avoid before the show that you have felt that they affect your vocal cords in some like negative way, or on the opposite side something that you want to take that it helps you with singing and screaming?
Well, in the beginning, I used like kind of tricks that like eating something greasy and like hamburgers or chips or Coca-Cola, or even beer.
Okay.
Like that helped the growling voice make it better.
Okay.
But not very healthy, of course.
Not in the long run, no.
But nowadays I don't do it. I just stick to water, maybe some tea, and that's pretty much it.
Do you use honey?
Yes, sometimes. At least a little bit sometimes, yeah. But I've heard like tomato, I think David Townsend said that if you eat tomato, that isn't good for your voice. but I don't know. Or maybe spicy food, I don't know.
You don't.
But I try to avoid those anyways.
I guess spicy food is always bad because it dries you up, and you need to be like quite hydrated if you want to sing.
Yeah, I think warm water is good.
Yeah,
or tea.
So obviously with Wintersun and Ensiferum you've released a lot of albums, but are there like some specific albums on the discography that you can pinpoint where you have felt that you've taken like big step forward as a singer?
I think the time recordings were a big step, because then I had the opportunity to like really, because I recorded them in rehearsal places, so it wasn't recorded in a studio like with a really schedule that okay, you need to just have a few takes. So I could actually like practice vocals and do it all over again. And so then I started to like really learn how to sing cleanly. And I think the first time I even learned how to do vibrato. But then the next big step was on the forest seasons, especially with the loneliness, clean vocals. Then I really like hit my stride, or how they say that.
Have you taken like vocal lessons?
No, never.
Okay, so it's just like self-learned.
Yeah.
And because of the studio, I guess you have like more time to experiment and try more new things that you had in the past.
Yeah, it's just the more you can sing, the better you become. The problem for me always was because I've always lived in like apartment buildings, and you cannot, of course, disturb the neighbors.
Well, you can, but not for a long time.
Yeah. But being able to go to rehearsal places and sing there like as long as I want, that was a big step. But now I feel like I even got into a better place than from the forest seasons, because now I have the new vocal booth at my home, so I can sing there day and night, no problems.
Okay.
And I think my vocals have really improved.
Because you are doing them like constantly in the studio. Next album from Wintersun, Time 2, August 30th through Nuclear Blast. Are there like some new things vocally that you haven't done in the past?
There definitely is. There's the first improvements I made with clean singing, and especially the song Silver Leaves. It's all clean vocals, and
was that a big step for you on a personal level?
Yeah, that was a big step. And yeah, of course, also one with the shadows. There's a lot of clean singing in that song as well. But yeah, Time 2, that has a lot of like vocals that like I was a big improvement in my career.
So you are like very proud of the vocal work?
Yeah, of course it was sang 10 years ago, but I still think it sounds fresh.
For live shows you switched and gave away the guitar, and now you are only holding the microphone.
Indeed.
So do you have like a specific way to hold the microphone when you perform? Do you need it to have it like certain way for screaming, or?
Well, I just hold it normally.
Okay.
And move around, but like depends on specific songs. For some songs, like maybe slower songs, I like to have the mic stand and just be there like this.
Okay. So you felt that it's like more comfortable for the vocals?
Yeah, the songs that aren't so energetic, you don't need to run around on the stage.
Yeah.
And just focus on the clean singing.
Okay. What's your opinion about like vocalists who are cupping the microphone when they're performing? Have you ever done that yourself? No.
No, because it ruins the sound.
Yeah, so you don't like it yourself.
I mean, some people may like the sound, because I mean, everyone has opinions on what sounds good and what sounds bad.
Yeah.
But for me, I like very clear, sound, vocal sound. But for some genres of music, cupping the mic might be just the right sound. So and it kind of looks aggressive.
So do whatever feels good for you.
Yeah, for me, I've always appreciated, like, even with growling, I like to have like good like pronunciations that people can understand what you're singing about.
So you put a lot of effort into those.
Yeah, I like to sing like pronounce the vocals that good and have like a production and compression that makes it very like clear and in your face.
Okay.
One singer is or Crowler is Vincent from Morbid Angel.
Yeah,
David
he's
Vincent.
very good in that.
I love his pronunciation. You can really hear the
He articulates like very well.
Articulation.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
He's also been guest on this
Nice.
series, so if you haven't checked his episode out, definitely check it out because it's very good one.
Yeah, but I have to say I also enjoy like the guttural, slimy.
The other side of
Yeah.
things.
That you cannot understand anything, but
more
cool.
raw stuff.
Yeah.
So, what were like your parents' reactions when they heard you first time screaming your lungs out?
They weren't ever against it. They were pretty supportive in my musical career. Of course, in the teenage year, there was some maybe little fights like, what are you gonna be when you grow up?
Yeah, the typical discussion.
But I just kept going on, and they realized that like I'm really like into this.
Yeah.
Like music is all my life. So they were very supportive. My dad used to drive me and with my stuff to everywhere, and even in the first Wintersun album recordings, he took me to Savonlinna to record it, and then came and picked me back. And when I got the album done, we went to the bar together. And
Okay, so he was very supportive.
yeah.
Last question. Any kind of advice that you would like to give to a young metal vocalist who's just about to start their journey? Anything that comes into your mind?
Well, I would say just sing a lot, and a really important thing is to record your own vocals and then analyze them and like what you can improve. And because usually when you're singing, you don't necessarily hear the rhythm or the pitch of your voice, but when you listen to it back, you can hear where you messed up, and then you can just try again, and and that way you just keep getting better. Just record yourself and do it a lot and warm up.
Thanks a lot for taking
Thank
the
you.
time to do this.
All right.